Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
Everybody, welcome to Check the Market. Didn't even have the mic ready. On this beautiful Monday morning here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Yeah!
Welcome, Shaza Perez. Bonjour to you. D&D Investments, Lyric, Raz Smeet, Letitia, Kim. Good morning, everybody. From New Jersey, Kevin. Yes, Sheba. Sheba's cruising. I'm up almost 70% on my investment. Let's refresh the prices here real quick. See where it's at. Ooh, down a little bit today. Down about 6.5% over the past 24 hours, but still up from where it was. Bitcoin up, Ethereum up, looking good. Bitcoin back at 63,000. Solana's up 7%. Looking good. How was everybody's weekend? Ivana from the Gulf Coast, welcome. I am still hodling. I'm going to hold all the way till 1 cent. Patrick, good morning. Kimberly from the SIP. I'm going to guess that means Mississippi. Welcome, everybody. DWAC, did anybody take a look at it? Pre-market up 24% today. It looks like it is the most discussed stock on Wall Street Bets this morning, so they're probably going to pump it. So that's going to be a high-risk trade for you today. I'm going to see where it ends up today because I might actually short the stock. Good morning, Kenny. And Clay. Gerald, good morning to you. Oh, I was right. It is Mississippi. Welcome, everybody. Tesla train, will it stop? I don't know. Kathy Wood keeps selling shares, so it might stop at some point. Tesla. Take a look at it. Tesla up 5% pre-market, almost 4.5% pre-market to $9.51 a share. Wait. Oh, yeah. Wow. Tesla's cruising. They just shut down their some parts of their autonomous driving programs. Tried to buy DWAC at $18. Robinhood didn't recognize my bank. Oh, man. Joel, good morning. From New York. Welcome and thanks for tuning in to Check the Market. We got another minute or so before the market opens, and it looks like we got some activity on Tesla. Yeah! DWAC today. And we got some more paraphernalia for the set. There we go. Is that good right there? Like that? Going to the moon today. Tesla, I think it was Hertz. I read this weekend that Hertz is ordering 100,000.
Fly me to the moon.
So that would be a nice order from Hertz for Tesla. We're going to take a look at that today. Going to keep an eye on DWAC, see what's going on. A couple more seconds before the markets open. And they're open. Man, I'm just glad I don't have to clean this up.
Yeah!
All right, and DWAC is open, and it looks like trading has already been halted. Crazy. So trading's already been halted at 108.88. What's the volume on this? Volume's already at 11.7 million today. Is that right? Wow. And it's halted at 108.88. DWAC originally bought in brokerage accounts a little over $25. Sold a share of Pepsi and bought 3 shares. A little over 48 a share. That's pretty good. Sold out a DWAC at $50, had 200% gain, could have been 400. Yeah, it's all, I mean, it's always better just to take your 200% because it could have gone the other way too. You never know. You know, with what's going to happen because it could have gone to 50 and then crashed. So with these things, it's always better just to take your profit. If you've got a good profit, like 200%, that's a huge gain. So it's always good just to take your profit and keep moving. So that's at 108.88. Let's see what else is moving this morning. Tesla up to 952.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
So that's
something ain't right.
52-week high. It's pretty good. All right, let's pull up the first article and see what's going on. Panasonic, batteries for Tesla. And we'll take a look at what's happening with Snapchat. Because if you've looked at Snapchat, can you guys pull up Snapchat on a graph or on a chart so we can see what's going on there? Because they had a huge dip the other day. And then we'll take a look at the articles. How about KDA? KDA, let's take a look. KDA Group, KDA USA. I just see a Canadian one. So there, take a look at that. So that's over the past 5 days, 26% down. So is this a buying opportunity or is this going to continue to go down? We'll take a look at why Snapchat is doing that today. Kathy Wood thinks that it's a buying opportunity because she sold Tesla and bought Snapchat. Good morning, Michael. I couldn't find anything on KDA USA. Is it just the ticker symbol KDA? Because when I pulled it up, it said that it was a Canadian stock. And Scott, good morning to you. Well, let's get into it. Let's see what's going on. You can pull up the first article. Kathy Wood's ARK Invest on Friday bought 230,000 shares, estimated to be worth $12.7 million in Snap on the dip. Shares of the social media company, which are up 11% so far this year, sunk 26.7% lower at $55.14 a share on Friday. Snap shares fell after the owner of social media app Snapchat said that privacy changes implemented by Apple earlier this year on iOS devices hurt its advertising business. The Santa Monica, California-based Snap third quarter revenue missed analysts' estimate on Thursday. Facebook and Twitter, which also fell on Snap's warning, are scheduled to report quarterly numbers this week. I think Facebook has earnings today. If they haven't already reported, let me take a quick look here. Facebook. Let's take a look. They're reporting today. It'll be aftermarket. See what Facebook does there. There's 134 companies that are going to be having earnings today. These next 2 weeks are going to be the biggest of the earnings season. We can keep going. The ARK Next Generation Internet ETF bought shares in Snap on Friday. Other than ARK-W, the ARK FinTech Innovation ETF, ARK-F2, owns shares in the social media company. The two ETFs held a total of 954,518 shares, worth $71.69 million ahead of Friday's trade. Here are some other key trades for ARK on Friday. ARK Invest continued to book profit in Tesla. The investment firm sold 80,000 shares, estimated to be worth $73 million. In the electric vehicle maker stock, Tesla shares closed 1.75% higher on Friday. Don't you think they wish they would have waited till today? Good morning. Thank you. Eric, good morning to you. And Sandra, welcome to Check the Market, where we check the market. Make sure you share the broadcast with all your friends. They need to see this. We can keep going. Keep going. Go back. Let's take a look at the Twitter thing that said there. Yeah, we can take a look at this. So Ryan Peterson. I thought this was interesting. This is a whole Twitter feed about what's going on with the supply chain crisis. So I saw this on Twitter, and I read through it. This is we got quite a couple of tweets here to go through, but it gave me it's an interesting perspective as to what's going on with this whole supply chain crisis. So Ryan Peterson says, yesterday I rented a boat and took the leader of one of Flexport's partners in Long Beach on a 3-hour tour of the port complex. Here's a thread about what I learned. Let's see it. First off, the boat captain said we were the first company ever to rent his boat to tour the port to see how everything was working up close. His usual business is doing memorial services at sea. He said we were a lot more fun than his regular customers. Doubt it. The Port of LA, Long Beach are at a standstill. In a full 3-hour loop through the port complex, passing every single terminal, we saw less than a dozen containers get unloaded. There are hundreds of cranes. I counted only 7 that were operating, and those that were seemed to be going pretty slow. Continue. It seems that everyone now agrees that the bottleneck is yard space at the container terminals. The terminals are simply overflowing with containers. So that's something that I hadn't heard before. Because I saw a TikTok the other day of a truck driver who was up in Washington State at one of the ports there, and he said, and he had parked at like a truck stop that was very close, so you could see all the cranes. And he was saying that he hadn't seen a single crane move all day. So I thought that the problem was with the cranes, but it looks like it might actually be yard space. And he's going to get into what about the yard space, because I was like, what does that matter? Just move the containers. But we'll see here why. The terminals are simply overflowing with containers, which means they no longer have space to take new containers, either from ships or land. It's a true traffic jam. Right now, if you have a chassis with no empty container on it, you can go pick up containers at any port terminal. However, if you have an empty container on that chassis, they're not allowing you to return it except on a highly restricted basis. If you can get the empty off the chassis, you can have a chassis to go pick up the next container, and if nobody goes back to pick up the next container, the port remains jammed. Continue. With the yard so full, carriers/terminals are being highly restrictive in where and when they will accept empties. Also, containers are not fungible between carriers, so the truckers have to drop their empty off at the right terminal. This is causing empty containers to pile up. This one trucking partner alone has 450 containers sitting on chassis right now as of 10/21 at his yards. This is a trucking company with 6 yards that represents 153 owner-operator drivers, so he has almost 3 containers sitting on chassis at his yard for every driver on them. Continue. He can't take the containers off the chassis because he's not allowed. So here's the kicker. I didn't know this. He's not allowed by the City of Long Beach zoning code, thanks California, to store empty containers more than 2 high in his truck yard. If he violates this code, they will shut down his yard altogether. So this is now coming down to zoning. With the chassis all tied up, storing empties that can't be returned to the port, there are no chassis available to pick up containers at the port. And with all the containers piling up in the terminal yard, the longshoremen can't unload the ships. And so the queuing grows longer, with now over 70 ships containing 500,000 containers are waiting offshore. This line is going to get longer, not shorter. And the bottleneck looks like it's the City of Long Beach. Continue. Zoning codes. This is a negative feedback loop that is rapidly cycling out of control that, if it continues unabated, will destroy the global economy. Alright, how do we fix this, you ask? Simple, and we can do it fast now. When you're designing an operation, you must choose your bottleneck. If your bottleneck appears somewhere that you didn't choose it, you aren't running an operation, it's running you. Continue. You should always choose the most capital-intensive part of the line to be your bottleneck. In a port, that's the ship's ship-to-shore cranes. The cranes should never be unable to run because they're waiting for another part of the operation to catch up. The bottleneck right now is not the cranes, it's yard space at the container terminals, and it's empty chassis to come clear those containers out. In operations, when a bottleneck appears somewhere that you didn't design for it to appear, you must overwhelm the bottleneck. Continue. It took a 3-hour tour. Yeah. Continue. Here's a simple plan that POTUS and Gavin Newsom, partnered with the private sector, labor, truckers, and everyone else in the chain, must implement today to overwhelm the bottleneck and create yard space at the ports so we can operate against. Number 1, executive order effective immediately, overriding the zoning rules in Long Beach and Los Angeles to allow yards to store empty containers up to 6 high instead of the current limit of 2. Make it temporary for 120 days. This will free up tens of thousands of chassis right now that are storing containers on wheels. Those chassis can immediately be taken to the ports to haul away the containers. So everybody was saying that this is because of the truckers, right? There's not enough truckers, there's not enough truckers. But you can have all the truckers in the world, then they're going to say, well, there's not enough trailers, there's not enough trucks. Whatever. But what it comes down to is that they can't store these they can only put the containers too high in the trucking yards instead of being able to store them higher than that so they can empty the chassis, clear out the bottleneck, and load up the ships again. Continue. Bring every container chassis owned by the National Guard and the military anywhere in the U.S. to the ports and load them to the terminals for 180 days. Create new temporary container yard at a large, need 500 plus acres piece of government land adjacent to an inland railhead within 100 miles of the port complex. This is thinking right here. Force the railroads to haul all containers to this new site, turn around and come back. No more 1,500-mile train journeys to Dallas. We're doing 100-mile shuttles. Turning around and doing it again. Truckers will go to this site and get containers instead of the port. Continue. Bring in barges and small container ships and start hauling containers out of Long Beach to other smaller ports that aren't backed up. This is not a comprehensive list. Please add to it. We don't need to do the best ideas. We need to do all the ideas. We must overwhelm the bottleneck and get these ports working. Again, I can't stress enough how bad it is for the world economy if the ports don't work. Every company selling physical goods bought or sold internationally will fail. Continue. The circulatory system our globalized economy depends has collapsed. And thanks to the negative feedback loops involved, it's getting worse, not better, every day that goes by. I'd be happy to lead this effort for the federal or state government if asked. Leadership is the missing ingredient at this point. Where's Pete Buttigieg? Why couldn't he tweet something like this? These people need to come up with ideas so that we can keep the economy going. But after this tweet was posted, the city of Long Beach actually did suspend their zoning rules. So it did have an effect. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of days. Continue. Oh, that is true. He is on paternity leave for the foreseeable future. Not that there's anything wrong with paternity leave. But if I was a secretary or a minister in government, I mean, it's kind of an important job. You need leadership. Yeah, that guy is smart. I'm glad that he, thought through all this and he, let me take a quick look here. Because what was that guy's name again? Can you go back to the tweet? So he tweeted this was 2 days ago. This is October 22nd. So what's that? A couple of days ago? 3 days ago now. And he tweeted 2 days ago, the city of Long Beach just announced it has temporarily suspended container stacking limitations. Thank you to everybody who called the governor and the mayor to request. They got the message. You can stop now. So Ryan Peterson, CEO of Flexport. What is Flexport? Oh, so he actually has a supply chain app. So this guy is the CEO of a company who has a supply chain app that, or supply chain platform that helps people with. So he's actually a professional in this area. So hopefully that will do something. But if he has a lot of good stuff on his Twitter in terms of like the supply chain crisis with solutions and stuff. So if you want to follow him on Twitter and see what he has to say, I think it was very interesting. All right, we can go to the next one. Hello to you, John. So his company is actively involved in the supply chain. Lion Electric. So we've talked about Lion Electric, and we talked about this a couple of days ago, I believe, a couple of weeks ago. And I said that I would take a look at this company again if there is an order for electric school buses. And so come to find out this morning at 8:21 a.m., Akanksha Benzinga staff writer writes, Lion Electric pockets conditional purchase order for 1,000 electric school buses. Let's see it. Linda says, my brother lives in Long Beach and he said that the trucks are sitting there, can't be driven in California because they don't run clean fuel. And yes, they're just sitting there. All of these things need to be suspended immediately. That's what they need to do. Lion Electric has received a conditional purchase order for 1,000 all-electric Lion C school buses from Student Transportation of Canada. So this is actually government. So it would be by the government, basically. A subsidiary of Student Transport of America, whose controlling shareholder is the Government of Quebec, basically. The financial terms of the order were not disclosed. The purchase order is conditional upon the satisfactory grant of non-repayable contributions to STC under Infrastructure Canada's Zero Emission Transit Fund. If confirmed, the purchase order would allow STC to become the largest operator of zero-emission school buses in North America. Deliveries would begin in 22 and occur through the first half of 26. Lion estimates that the development of 1,000 all-electric school buses would help eliminate approximately 23,000 tons of greenhouse gas emissions per year, in addition to significantly reducing noise pollution for the communities in which they operate. LEV shares are trading higher. Let's see where they're at right now. $12.42, up 3.85%. Lion Electric is still way down from its 52-week high at $35. So Lion Electric is now has my interest at this point. When I looked at it a while back, it didn't have any substantial contracts, but it looks like, I mean, this is still conditional, but it is a purchase order, so it's not just something that they're throwing around, like Workhorse did and the others, where there's like, oh yeah, we have an order for 100,000. So LEV, take a look at it. Lion Electric Company. It's a Canadian company, a Canadian electric vehicle company. Next article. Earnings scheduled for October 25th. We already went over this a little bit. We got a ton of earnings that are scheduled for the next couple of days. One of the big ones today is Facebook. Let's see what else we got here. Kimberly-Clark is another big one. Otis, the elevator manufacturer. Restaurant Brands International. What else we got? So if you're in any of those, Crown Holdings, Hasbro. So we got a ton of earnings today. Be interesting to see what all the companies do. I think my earnings to be commie free. XRP to the moon indeed, Charles. Where's XRP this morning? I haven't looked at it. XRP 109. Still waiting for launch. Still waiting for liftoff. Next. Facebook whistleblower, crypto connection, China, COVID-19 risk, Tesla price hike, ARK's bet on Snap, Elon Musk on Dogecoin and Shiba. These are 5 quick headlines that Madhu Kumar, Warrior, put together in one article. That way I didn't have to send 5 different ones. Let's see it. XRP is staying solid. Heading into a new trading week, here's a quick roundup of the top 5 stories. Elon Musk on Dogecoin. Elon Musk has responded to an article by Benzinga saying that he became a supporter of Dogecoin after finding many of his employees at Tesla and SpaceX owned the meme cryptocurrency. Meanwhile, Shiba Inu, which calls itself the Dogecoin killer, saw a massive spike over the weekend and touched a new all-time high of 0.00004442. On Sunday morning, it's now the 13th largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization, as per CoinMarketCap. Musk said in one tweet that he didn't own any Shiba Inu coins. He should buy some. The estimated timeline. I think that they'll get listed once they either settle with the SEC or the lawsuit gets thrown out. Now, there was just an extension to the case, so I think that they have till January now. The SEC has till January to go over all the stuff. So it's taking a little bit longer. But yeah, XRP is trading sideways yet again. But that just means more buying opportunity, Michael. Continue. Facebook whistleblower, cryptocurrency disclosure. The Facebook whistleblower who had accused the social media giant of betraying democracy, has disclosed that she's an investor in cryptocurrencies. So, are you betraying democracy by investing in cryptocurrency? Frances Haugen, a former Facebook product manager, made the disclosure in an interview with the New York Times on Sunday. She owns exactly 3 Doge in her Robinhood account. I'm just kidding. Tesla hikes price again, rolls back FSD. Tesla has hiked the price of the Model X long range and Model S long range vehicles by $5,000 each, marking the second price increase for the long range variants in 3 months. It was reported on Sunday that Tesla has temporarily rolled back the latest version of full self-driving beta software just a day after it was released in order to fix some software issues. Where's Tesla at right now? Still cruising? Still cruising. 949. Where's DWAC at? $101. Oh, and it looks like it is actually moving. It's $100 right now. Yeah, I would say February, March for XRP. Continue. What else we got? We already went over those two. Next article. Let's see what else we got here today. Panasonic unveils prototype battery for Tesla with 5 times the storage capacity of current batteries. Let's see it. Oh, there we go. So that's the article from Reuters by Tim Kelly. Let's see it. Panasonic on Monday unveiled a new large prototype battery designed to help Tesla lower electric vehicle production costs. In a move the Japanese company's battery chief said would deepen business ties with its key U.S. customer during a media roundtable where Kazuo Tadanobu, does he own Nobu? Showed the battery that is around 5 times the size of those currently used by Tesla. He also said Panasonic had no plans to make cheaper lithium iron phosphate batteries for more affordable EVs. Tesla's decision to diversify battery suppliers to companies such as South Korea's LG and China's contemporary Amperex Technology, CATL, and Panasonic's sale of Tesla shares had raised questions over the future of their decade-long partnership. Continue. But as the sole manufacturer of 46 millimeters wide and 80 millimeters tall battery, Panasonic should remain a critical link in the EV maker's supply chain, at least for pricer models. We have deployed this because of the strong desire of the other party, and we think this can only lead to stronger ties. He did not say when Panasonic, which operates a plant in Nevada that supplies Tesla, would begin full-scale production. Panasonic's decision to avoid LFP power packs means Tesla is buying those from CATL for some China-made Model 3 and Model Ys and the entry-level Model 3s in the United States. LFP batteries, 95% of which are made in China, are considered cheaper and safer than nickel-based materials, but have less energy density and need to be recharged more often. Panasonic's auto batteries are nickel, cobalt, aluminium, NCA. Continue. Tesla wants the cheaper cobalt-free lithium iron phosphate batteries for its standard range vehicles, but needs to figure out how to overcome political tensions to get a Chinese partner to build the iron-based batteries near its US factories. Apple has also been in discussion with CATL and China's electric vehicle company maker BYD about becoming LPF battery suppliers for its planned electric vehicle. Those talks, however, have stalled. Tadanobu declined to say whether Apple had approached Panasonic about buying EV batteries. Continue. All right, so Panasonic, which has been on our list to buy before, I think they're still a good company, and yeah, I think they're a great company. Continue. Yellen says U.S. is not losing control of inflation. She says a lot when the day is long. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said on Sunday that the United States was not losing control of inflation and that she expected inflation levels to return to normal by the second half of next year. Yellen, in an interview on CNN, said spending in President Joe Biden's domestic infrastructure and Build Back Better packages would be allocated over the next 10 years, but she did not say that it would exacerbate inflation. I don't think we're about to lose control of inflation. On a 12-month basis, the inflation rate will remain high into next year because of what's already happened, but I expect improvement by the middle to end of next year, second half of next year. And if it doesn't, you should resign. Supply chain snags have bedeviled the United States and other countries as economic reopenings spur a surge in demand. As we make further progress on the pandemic, I expect these bottlenecks to subside. Americans will return to the labor force as conditions improve. The Federal Reserve has promised to keep its benchmark overnight interest rate at the current near zero level until the economy has returned to full employment and inflation has reached the central bank's 2% goals and is on track to stay moderately above that level for some time. I don't understand.
By a bunch of
How do you stay when you have rampant inflation? You have to increase interest rates. But if you're going to keep them at near zero, how are you going to get to 2%? So they got to get all this figured out. Long Beach has to work. The Port of LA has to work. We'll see what happens there. They're going to start tapering, and we'll see if that does anything. Continue. Tax on billionaires' unrealized gains will likely be in budget package, Democrats say. The proposal, which would likely affect fewer than 1,000 of the wealthiest U.S. taxpayers, would help pay for Biden's social policy and climate legislation. So what they're doing, I thought this was very interesting. I don't agree with it because usually most of these proposals are Trojan horses, and where, you know, oh, we're just doing this to the rich, but then next thing you know, it's happening to you too. They're looking at taxing unrealized gains, which means that if you own stock and you keep your money in that stock, you don't sell it, you don't take it out, you don't have to pay tax on it because it's unrealized. You haven't sold the stock, so you haven't realized the gain. So what they're trying to do here is they're trying to tax unrealized gains. So stocks that haven't been sold yet, they would tax them on those stocks. So they would tax them on unrealized gains. But if it was me, then I would just invest something else. I would invest in, I mean, this is unrealized capital gains on liquid assets. So I would real estate is not liquid. What else? Diamonds, gold, paintings, things like that. That's what I would invest in if I were them. Yeah, I think this is kind of crazy because people are going to be okay with this and they're going to keep pushing the bar until they start taxing your unrealized gains on your 401ks, because we got trillions of dollars sitting in 401ks and IRAs, and then we'll see what happens there. But that's my view of this. That's why I don't think they should be doing this, because they'll keep pushing the bar. Right now, it's just the wealthiest 1,000 individuals, and they're not going to make enough money off of this. So they're going to be like, well, it needs to be everybody making so and so much, just the millionaires, until it trickles down to everybody else. About to find some unrealized write-offs. Continue. We can go to the next article. Basically explain what they're doing. Supply chain disruptions encourage Rio Tinto to mine its own sludge for critical minerals. Mining company aims to recover key materials, including uranium, at its Kennecott copper mine in the U.S. Continue. Snarled supply chains are giving new impetus to Rio Tinto PLC's efforts to produce minerals essential for modern technology, starting with mining sludge from a giant copper pit in the U.S. Waste produced at Rio Tinto's Kennecott mine near Salt Lake City contains a clutch of critical minerals that have long been overlooked by global miners in favor of copper and commodities that can be produced at scale and sold into markets with a deep pool of investors. Now, these lesser-known minerals are becoming more valuable in the U.S. as the U.S. and its allies worry about security of supply amid geopolitical tensions and disruptions in exporting countries due to the pandemic and a power crunch. Recent months have seen worsening shortages of some commodities, including magnesium used by global automotive industry, resulting in a surge in prices. Earlier this year, President Biden ordered a review of America's supply chains, including for minerals critical to the economy and national defense. So I think this is a great idea. Take a look at Rio. I've been taking a look at miners overall because I think that a lot of them are undervalued compared to the stock market overall. Exactly, that's what's going to happen. That's why, even when I saw this article, I thought, oh yeah, that's not going to affect me right now. It's just going to affect the 1,000 wealthiest people in the US. But like with everything, that's how it starts. So it's, oh no, they just have to pay their fair share, and then next thing you know, everybody's paying their fair share. Whatever that means. Continue. That's it. All right, let's go over the stocks to research for today. So this one is medium risk. It's not a U.S. company. Panasonic Corp. I bought more of this. I bought some of this company. I think I brought it up at the end of September, somewhere around end of September, somewhere around there. So the ticker symbol is PCRFY. PCRFY, Panasonic Corp. It's a Japan-based electronics company. I added it to my watch list and potential stocks to buy. I bought some more this morning. It's trading slightly over book value. It has room to grow, especially if it gets more contracts like the one it has with Toyota supplying Tesla. They're innovating in the battery space to get away from mined minerals like lithium to make it more climate friendly, so this could be a good long-term hold. It's an ADR stock, American Depository Receipt, so it might not be traded on every platform. PCRFY, traded on TD Ameritrade and Charles Schwab for sure. I don't know if it's traded, it should be traded on Fidelity and E-Trade and all the other ones as well. So if you want to take a look at it again, Panasonic, I think that this could be a good long-term hold for battery technology. I think it's a good company, and it's fairly well valued, the company itself. So I like Panasonic. We already took a look at DWAC. If you want to get risky, it's at 96.75. Number one stock discussed on Wall Street Bets today. Over 300 mentions over the last couple of hours on Wall Street Bets. So DWAC still cruising, and it looks like it hasn't hit a circuit breaker here in a while. Run. I talked about Sunrun. I've talked about Sunrun for a while. I bought the company at the beginning of September, and I sold it now. So about a 15% profit. So I wanted to let you know, RUN, Sunrun, RUN, high risk company, got a 15% profit on that one. So if I don't know how much further the company is going to go up. That's why I sold it right now. I'm going to wait for it to go back down. If it doesn't, whatever. But if it goes back down, I'll buy back into the company. So I'm just letting you know what I did with my Sunrun stock, just in case you would like to do the same. Because if you did buy it when I mentioned the beginning of September, you'll be sitting at an almost 15% profit on that one. Honest question. Do you have anything that helps beginners get started? Is there an app we can download to start investing in the stock you recommend? Yes, you can download an app called Robinhood. Robinhood's a good app that you can start with. Acorns is another good app. Acorns, actually, what it does is you can connect it to your debit card or your credit card, and every time you swipe, it rounds up to the nearest dollar. So if you buy a coffee for $1.50, you swipe, It takes 50 cents, so rounds up to the nearest dollar. $2 takes 50 cents, put it in your Acorns account, and you can invest it in various different ETFs. Where you can get started as a beginner to learn would be a place like Investopedia. That would be a good place to start. If you open up a TD Ameritrade account, TD Ameritrade, I know that TD Ameritrade has some great education tools. So if you open up a TD Ameritrade account, you don't need to fund your account. You can go to education. They have an education tab, and they got all sorts of different education where they've got little videos. You can take quizzes, all sorts of things like that under TD Ameritrade. So if you're interested in, you know, stocks, options, bonds, mutual funds, any of that, you can go through it, take a look at it. That's TD Ameritrade. That's one of the ones that I'm most familiar with. And then Investopedia has great education tools as well. Stock Market Samurai, thanks for tuning in. So those are some places to start. Another high-risk one, Jasper, JSPR. So this one was brought up last week, I believe. Jasper Therapeutics, formerly Amplitude Healthcare Acquisition Corporation, is a biotechnology company focused on hematopoietic cell transplant therapies. The company has developed programs, different monoclonal antibodies, all sorts of different things like that. It's all about cell transplantation. So the company was just listed through a merger, through a SPAC merger. I took a look at it. It looks like a solid company. It's still in the R&D phase. They don't have a lot of long-term debt, but still have some debt. I like that about this company because it's not leveraged to the hill like most other healthcare companies, R&D healthcare companies are. I definitely see growth potential there. It has momentum. It has great momentum to the upside, but it has been going down. So there are some price swings with this stock because it was just a newly listed SPAC. I'm gonna wait a little bit more, but I'm gonna keep an eye on it. I think whoever brought this up, if you like the stock, I would invest in it. I looked at their website. I don't think they're doing anything shady. I think that this is a legit company and they've got a good product that they're trying to research. Yeah, he's still talking to me, Charles. DWAC is now at 99.36. But yeah, those are a couple of companies there for you to research today. Take a look at them. I'll have some more for you tomorrow. And if you would like to invest in Revival today, you can do so now. We've got a new shirt that we will be giving away, and let's see it. Go out there and make some money today. Good old family.
Oh, that's hot.
The market slow.
That's hot.
So if you'd like that shirt right there, tuxedo and everything, then if you want to invest in Revival today, we'll send that to you as a thank you. The biggest returns that I've seen personally are when I've invested in the kingdom of God, and it's incredible to see the Lord bless you when you invest in His kingdom, because if you put His kingdom first, then He'll put you first. So if you invest in the kingdom, there's no greater investment that you can make. You can do so right now by doing #donate on Facebook. You can go to revivaltoday.com and click Give Now. Text RT to 50155. $ RT Give on Cash App, Venmo at RT Give. revivaltoday.com/PayPal. If you'd like to give by PayPal, We also accept cryptocurrencies. If you scan that QR code right there, it'll give you a link where you can donate cryptocurrencies. If there's any other cryptocurrencies that you'd like to donate, call our office at 412-446-2332. Like Shiba Inu, I don't think is on there, so if you'd like to donate some Shiba, you can call our office. You can also send us a check. Revival Today, P.O. Box 7, Prosperity, Pennsylvania 15329. And then don't forget to claim your offer, which is the Go Out There, Make Some Money Today shirt. Check the market shirt. Make sure you claim that offer on revivaltoday.com/offer. Awesome. Let's see where DWAC's at. 97.50. Oh, did it halt trading again? Looks like it isn't moving, so it might have halted. Let's see where the market's at. Overall, oh, it's right up here. I could have just checked. Dow Jones up 5 points. NASDAQ up 55 points. And the S&P 500 up 4.39. So it's fairly flat today. Tesla's up 5.59% to 960. So Gerald, good job. Gold is up, silver's up, oil's up to 85. Oh, it's trading again now. DWAC 98.47. 97.61. It is still moving. Still moving. Awesome. Research ticker for today. Panasonic. I bought into Panasonic. What were some of the other ones? Jasper JSPR. Another high risk one if you want to keep an eye on it. Maybe do a day trade. DWAC. And what else did we have? Did we have one more? Oh, Sunrun. If you bought Sunrun, I sold Sunrun. I made 15%. I thought that was enough. I don't know if the stock's going to go any higher anytime soon, so I sold it. So I just wanted to let everybody know, just in case you were you want to take some profit on it. You don't have to. You can still stay in it if you bought it. And yes, we will post the episode, so you'll be able to watch it, Cami. Awesome. Well, thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. Go out there, make some money today, and I will see you all tomorrow at 9:20.